Today, we're jumping in everyone's business.
Honestly. I've been in a situationship with this guy for 5 years.
You what?
Yeah.
If this ain't sounding like the plot of a good Tyler Perry film, I don't know what it is.
Hello and welcome to the To My Sisters podcast. I'm Renee.
And I'm Courtney, and we are your online big sisters and hosts of the To My Sisters podcast.
Now, we are all about the wellness, growth and development of a community of sisters across the world.
And in today's episode, we are going to do something very, very, very different. Today it's a gisting, gossiping, girl chat this thing. Yes. We have a whole heap of just backlogged dilemmas from you sisters, and we thought, you know what, it's cute doing this whole attacking them one by one, but let's just sit down and have a good talk. We even forgot our tea and our coffee today.
I know.
We forgot to do the sip sipping.
I fully needed to get my hot chocolate.
We're gonna jump into your dilemmas today and give you advice. Just talk about the situations that are going on, because clearly there's a lot of madness roaming around the globe at the moment. And the sisters are in need of help, and we are here to give our little 2 pence. So today we're going to be talking about your dilemmas, and whether you can relate or not, we have some advice for you, but we want to mainly hear from you in the comments. Today we're jumping in everyone's business.
Honestly.
All of us. You know, transparency is a sisterhood around here. So please leave your comments. Get ready for all the dilemmas we have to say today. We have about 4, but we want you to actually advise our sisters with wisdom, love, compassion, kindness, all of that. You know what we're about around here. But grab a cup of tea. Today,
piping hot.
Let's jump into these dilemmas, baby.
I'm excited.
Dilemma number 1, because this one is the one that's going to be shacking all of us in our beds. Okay. I'm so ready for this one.
What you got for me, Miss Courtney?
Let me open it up right now. Hey, sis.
Hey.
So I was with my boyfriend for nearly a year. I thought we were happy, and our relationship was like most people, with its ups and downs, but we were working through them. However, we broke up recently because he had been cheating with my friend. After I found out and confronted him about it, he then let me know that he wanted us to break up. And when we did, he got together with her. As you can imagine, I'm heartbroken. I want to know how to forgive my friend and get over the heartbreak, because I feel betrayed. I don't want a relationship anytime soon, but I know I'm going to have difficulty trusting anyone after having this happen to me. Please help. I'm shocked I haven't seen your name in the news, because I would have killed. Murder. Finished. Done.
I was just, you know what? I was genuinely thinking that as you read out the dilemma. I was genuinely thinking, wow, sis, you've actually done a lot of work already.
Sis said, I want to know how to forgive my friend and get over heartbreak. You've done 70% of the work. You're there.
You've literally done
You're
most
there.
of
God
the
bless.
work. Usually it's, am I out of line for wanting to kill somebody's cat or something? But wow, you want to forgive them? That's really
She
big
said,
of you.
I want to know how to forgive.
Not petty, because it seems that you may have just completely overcome your petty stage. Courtney, you know me, there's still an ounce of pettiness that exists.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say, sis, I'm really sorry you had to go through that. It's genuinely not nice to be cheated on. It's genuinely not nice to have your trust just completely shattered like that. And I really do hope that the sister, you know, that was your former friend that is now with your current lover is listening in to TMS Radio.
Oh my God.
We had the conversation about this. The word lover is just so, it just sounds so
that is currently with your lover.
The sister that is currently shacking up with your lover. I hope that she's listening to the TMS radios. And if not, feel free to forward on, you know, TMS, so that at some point she can hear this, because, you know, we definitely do not condone stealing anybody's man over at TMS. But yeah, I firstly just want to say, like, genuinely congratulations. Super, super sorry that this has happened to you.
Genuinely congratulations.
For overcoming.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I didn't structure the sentence well, because you did not hit the jackpot.
Congratulations.
Congratulations for coming to this point in your growth and healing process. And I'm super sorry that you've had to go through this encounter, and you genuinely deserve more. It even feels like this is a very, very quick way to respond to your dilemma, because I think you've already done the work insofar as you've gotten to a point where you can say, okay, how do I actively process that pain and, you know, actually actively try and forgive these two people? And then for you, it's the double whammy of your boyfriend and your friend. This genuinely sounds like a Jerry Springer / Maury Povich show. Like, I just cannot. And I think we kind of talk about this quite a lot. And I think you're already there insofar as like self-awareness, but really understanding how that pain has affected you and the dynamics of your relationships. I don't think it's quite clear whether you want to continue relationships with both of them. Depends on you. I mean, personally for me, I don't think, maybe Courtney's a better person than I, but personally with me, I don't think I could continue a relationship in any format with either of the people in question.
Not at all.
Purely because I wouldn't have gotten to that stage by then. And that level of disrespect to me is, it would take a lot for me to get to that point where I could see myself with both of you.
100%.
As well as the fact that they're actually now actively together. It's not even just a, you know, you guys have broken up and there's been distrust in like one season, but this is actively a ongoing relationship. So I think the forgiveness, it really very much depends on what you actually seek to get out of it. Do you actually want to have some kind of like working relationship with both of them? Or is this more of an internal thing where you're actually seeking forgiveness in order to help you, you know, close the chapter and heal? I'm going to err on the side of the latter. And I love the fact that you also said you're not ready for a relationship. It means you're also not looking for a rebound, sis, which is great.
Amazing.
And I think, just use this as a time to really work on yourself, really journal, get out those emotions. If you can, I would definitely say to seek therapy as well. This is definitely a traumatic episode and a traumatic experience. And I think you're very well within, you know, your dues to go and actually actively seek professional help for it. In overcoming it, in case there's anything internally that you still need to work through. But other than that, I think, sis, you're already there. You're already very much on, you know, on the journey. And I commend you for the strength of having to go through this kind of thing. And genuinely send you so much love, light, luck. And you know, when you are ready to pursue a relationship romantically, I hope it does go well. And more importantly, I hope that this also doesn't impact the way that you see friendship as well, because often we can focus a lot on romantic relationships but not really deal with the fact that this kind of episode can also have such a lasting impact on the way that you open up to people platonically as well. So do lean into your other friends as well, and use them as a communal support system as you go through this time. Good. But Courtney, please, I would love to hear what you have to say, because I'm trying to be measured.
You know what's mad? I've been in this situation before.
I know. Talk to us.
So when I was younger,
about those heifers.
You ain't never lie. So when I was younger, I was in a relationship with a guy. The thing is, this is less serious than this because I was much younger. The relationship was one of them. It was heartbreaking at the time, but you know when you were like, how old was I? You're like 15 or something. So anyways, I was in a relationship with a guy. Turned out he was cheating on me with my best friend who set us up together. And she had been my best friend since primary school.
Crazy.
Yeah, so... Indeed. So, can't disagree with you there. I think you've actually touched on the many different points of tension here, which is obviously healing from a breakup in general is super painful. But like Renee said, I think you've done the work, sis, in terms of you're on that journey of healing in a healthy way. And I'm sure you've gone through all those, 7 stages of grief or whatever they call it. But you seem to have arrived at a place where you're genuinely seeking to move on in a way that is most healthy for you. I think the bit that grieves me is actually the thing that you mentioned about how does this affect the way you view trusting friends and romantic partners? Because when somebody abuses your trust like this, when you have a friend that can actually look at you being happy.
Can you imagine?
And then say, I want to snatch that thing that has made you happy and have it for myself. How do you then believe that anyone around you actually wants the best for you? Do you get what I mean? And that's, I think, the most heartbreaking thing of this. And I love what Renee said about leaning on the community that you do have currently and knowing that, you know, this was one bad seed, one bad apple. And unfortunately, a lot of sisters, a lot of women can be really poorly behaved. And this isn't a reflection of female friendship. And the majority of female friendships that exist. I think it's incredibly amazing to want to forgive her. But I think one thing we have to always acknowledge is forgiveness doesn't mean that repercussions aren't displayed. So if somebody has done something that has violated your trust, violated your relationship, completely proven that they do not care about you enough to want to protect your feelings, they don't have to be your friend anymore. And you can release all the anger that you have towards them and genuinely want the best for them whilst not letting them partake in your life anymore and revoking that privilege from them because clearly they don't deserve it. So I think, yes, seek out forgiveness, but still put, you know, I know people say forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Until she proves to you that she has completely changed. And I don't know how she'll be able to do that. I don't know if she can occupy the same position she had in your life as your friend. But then the other issue is, do you not want to protect yourself from having to see their relationship all the time?
Exactly.
Unless you are genuinely like, you know what? And I doubt anyone gets to this place, but hey, unless you genuinely think, you know what? He's happier with her. And I'm happy that he's happier with her. That face. But yeah, unless you genuinely get to a place where you're like, he's happier with her and I'm happy that he's happy. Do you get what I mean? I'm happy that he's happier than he was with me. Then yeah, maybe for you, seeing their happiness won't make you upset. But if it were me, I could never. So I feel like this whole situation is just you know what? Take yourself,
be going,
and go and just start a new path of happiness away from these people.
Be going.
Be going. And like you said, I love that you said, you know, you're not looking for a relationship anytime soon because rebounds, especially when you're this fragile, can seem so optimal, but really it's just even further destruction. So about having difficulty trusting anyone again, this is a real hard thing and you have to give yourself the time. It will make you suspicious of people and their motives and their behaviors, especially in romantic relationships and friendships. But I think you have to choose to give people the benefit of the doubt and see their good intentions, see their good intentions until they prove to you otherwise. Because I think with situations like this, the pain is, how could I not see this coming? Like, how could I have let you be around me, around us? How could I be going through my relationship not knowing that, one, you're cheating on me. Two, my friend is cheating on me with you. And both of you are betraying my trust and basically making a mockery of me. How could I not know? Yeah. And I think with situations like this, the immediate reaction is, what's wrong with me? Was I a good enough girlfriend? How could I have not known? Was I discerning enough? Was I wise enough? Was I just foolish? No, none of that. This has no reflection on you. This has everything to do with their bad character, their bad morals, their poor behavior. And even if they are happy with each other, which I actually genuinely hope they are, they're going to have to deal with that within their own relationship because both of them are liars. And they're going to have to... No, because if you know that saying, how you keep them is how you lose them. If you cheat on somebody... with someone, how do you expect them to stay faithful with you? You're both liars. You're capable of betrayal.
No, I'm screaming, Courtney. The vim with which you said that. You ain't lied. You're both
just want to give the Lord's humble truth.
No, listen, as we said, we hope that good sisters listening in and listening very, very carefully. Your ears are open. As you said, Courtney, the way you keep them is the way that you will lose them. And having that as the beginning of your relationship does set a very dangerous precedent. And it's not even a case of like, can you trust them, but can you also trust yourself? Because oftentimes when, you know, women or, you know, anyone gets into a relationship that had infidelity at the beginning, we often project and think, oh, the issue was not necessarily me, but it's, you know, the guy that had the relationship or the guy. But in this situation, you were actually the friend. So there was a level of betrayal there. That was, again, double whammy. The fact that you're with somebody that's already with someone and that someone that they're with is your friend. So I think it's not even a case of her being fearful of losing him. She needs to check herself because she is also a very, very, very big problem.
She's dangerous.
She's dangerous. Dangerous. Listen, we've already dealt with a couple, like a sister in the past who was, you know, had her eye roaming on the guy with the girlfriend. For any sisters out there, if you are in a situationship with somebody that is currently seeing somebody, or if you have a crush on somebody that is hooked up with somebody else, respectfully, this is a reminder to mind your business. Please.
Like Renee said, we don't touch things that don't belong to us.
We don't.
No, we don't do that. It's not classy.
It's not classy.
It's not nice.
It's low class.
It's low class. Oh, wow. Men are mad, man.
Very mad. And women, sometimes they're also mad.
Madder, in fact. But honestly, like Renee said, sending you loads of love, light, and luck in this situation. And just saying, you know what? Sis, you're on the right path to healing and you will find amazing friends. You will find an amazing partner, but we want it to be after you doing the work of making sure you're okay. And it sounds like you're already willing to endeavor on that journey. And we are here to support you however 100%. We can. Love you loads.
Love you loads. But with that, we move on to the next tomfoolery. Of the dilemma episode.
Go.
All right, what I got for you, Miss Courtney.
Okay.
Hey, sisters. Sending you love from Texas.
Hey, okay.
We love it.
United States of America.
America.
We love it.
We love it. I'm new to the sisterhood, discovered this platform on YouTube, and I'm so grateful to have found y'all.
We're grateful you're here, baby.
You both bring so much joy to my week. I've been in a situationship with this guy for 5 years.
You what?
Yeah.
Say it again, sorry.
Been in a situationship with this guy for 5 years.
Continue.
He let me know upfront that he wasn't ready to be in a relationship at that time. However, I never implemented proper boundaries to maintain just our friendship. I tried to prove I was down for him, including helping him with his schoolwork, letting him borrow money, helping him start his business, and more. I also ended up discovering he was with 2 other women at the same time. I've had to get the police involved at least 3 times.
Not the police.
I've had to get the police involved at least 3 times. And he's also broken into my apartment a few times when I would try to end the conversation. Long story short, he's now ready to give us a fair shot. And I feel like he's rushing this because he knows I'm leaving the city to move back home with my family. What should I do?
Run away, go home. Run away, go home. Change your number. You have to go away. That's the only way this man is going to actually leave you alone.
Little Erica was only 10 years old. She's steady trying to figure why the world is so cold.
What song is this?
You remember that? And Ludacris and Mary J. Blige. Runaway Love. Courtney.
I'm sorry.
No. That's your homework tonight, you know.
Okay.
Sisters, let me know if you know that song. Courtney, Runaway Love.
I don't know it.
Oh my God.
Nah, you have to run away. Pack your bags. This person is crazy. And also, I'm glad you said you didn't lay the boundaries because clearly you already know where you went wrong with that. So obviously, you know, we're all about accountability around here. You already know what's up. But I think there is no simpler thing to do than just to leave. Because what are you going to have, a relationship with this man? There's clearly already violations.
Nah, Courtney, you killed me. How can you say a relationship with this guy? Stop it.
You've been in a situationship for 5 years, half a decade, without commitment, clear communication, healthy boundaries, being able to trust him with your life, and infidelity, theft.
No, not theft.
The police. If this ain't sounding like the plot of a good Tyler Perry film, I don't know what it is. Dead it. You actually deserve so much better. And I think this whole thing was started by the whole getting involved with someone who has not made it clear that they actually want you. And people will take advantage. People will easily take advantage. Someone will say, I don't want a relationship, but everybody wants relationship benefits, right? I want you to cook for me. I want you to help me with things. I want you to help me step my money up. I just don't want to give you me, right? In response to that, but I will happily take you. Wow. Don't do that.
Wow.
Don't do that. We don't do that. I feel like this is just a great point to just start again. Take all these lessons and start with somebody else. And I'm glad you already know the police number, because if this guy because the fear, my initial thoughts is she's gonna leave and he's gonna follow. And he already sounds like he knows how to cross a couple lines.
Creepy, cruel.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, creepy.
I am one who always tells people, call the police, rely on the authorities.
Call the feds.
You have to call the feds, and you've got to get things in place. And for women, it can be more scary because sometimes partners can be very dangerous and we get very scared, but it doesn't mean you have to stay in that bondage. So apply wisdom, but sis, reclaim your time, your power, your energy, and get out of a situationship for 5 years. That's the bit that's juking me, you know? 5 years.
I know, girl. I know. Oh. No. It's when no. There's a lot of things that happen in 5 years.
I was about to say.
It's really
people meet, get engaged, get married, and have first kids in 5 years.
And yet, my good sis is here with a madman. Everything that you said, Courtney, I feel like we're such on the same wavelength in terms of our response to dilemmas today. Because the first thing in my head, literally, run. That was literally, I was just looking at this like, sis, you got to run, pack your belongings and be going. Because, and again, I love what you said about the fact that she's taken accountability for her own in this situation, insofar as when you don't maintain clear boundaries with folks, people always take advantage. Oh. They always use that grey space, that liminal area to be doing up things that, you know, you don't really want to be doing, or things that make it difficult. And it's awkward because when you're in a situationship, you can never really quite say, you don't even have the authority to now be like, why are you with other people? Because you never made it clear that you were exclusive in the first place. In fact, he made it clear that he wasn't, you know, ready to be in a relationship and ready to be exclusive. So this really does have you out here looking like a fool, getting, you know, being torn up over somebody's son that doesn't want to be with you, at least in the first place. And we do need to talk about men, but also women, but men who also do get freaked out by the possibility of losing someone without actually feeling like they need to commit first. A lot of guys, it's only when they're on the brink of losing something, they will suddenly wake up and realize, oh, this is a good thing in my life. Let me keep her around. Yeah. But because you have set the precedent in which he communicates with you and in which he uses you and all of that kind of stuff, in his mind, he was like, this girl is never going to leave because she's in love with anywhere. Me. But now there's actually the very real prospect of him losing you forever. Yeah. Now he's woken up and decided that he wants you. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be somebody's last resort or last chance. I want to be somebody's priority. I want to be somebody's first.
Give it.
You know, I want to be we're dating. Now I want to be with you. I want to be exclusive. I don't want
That's this what we deserve.
This is what you deserve. I don't want this nonsense of, we're just in a situationship. We'll see how things go and all of that kind of like.
Not with me.
It's been 5 years. Are you telling me you still can't? You still don't know where things are going? You still can't see where things are going?
Clearly, you're blind.
Clearly, we need to focus on the prescription of your glasses.
100%.
Clearly, you need to go to therapy.
But the thing is, I find that it's because a lot of us women we won't create that boundary or that expectation. Do you get what I mean? As in, like, in the sense, and this is, you know, we're all about accountability here, self-awareness here, you know, sis, we're not going to stroke anyone's ego, right? And obviously this is also a judge-free zone because we've all been there. But in the sense that, will we create the expectation that I will not give you certain things or access to certain things until you meet the necessary requirements to access those things?
Yep.
For example, I won't be able to help you build this business or lend you money if I am not your girlfriend or your wife. I'm sorry. What? And I won't be shamed out of having that standard for my life because I will not give you, like they say, wife privileges with barely even a girlfriend title.
Bro, do you know how
why? Or a girlfriend level of commitment?
Nope.
Why should I give you all of me for nothing in return? Absolutely nothing in return. Not a promise.
Nope.
Not even a vague sentiment.
And do you know what was even more infuriating about this is the whole trap that women fall into of trying to prove themselves worthy of commitment.
This is it.
Take the food inside the tin as it is described outside of the tin. He said he's not ready for a relationship. There's nothing that you can do to get him to pick you or change his mind. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of being somebody's first place. You just don't. And I just know that whole
no.
To prove that I was down for him, that I could change his mind. And it's only after 5 years of bondage he decides, and it's not even because it's been 5 years, but it's because he's going to lose you.
100%. And you've been giving him a good deal so far.
You can do so much better.
And that's what I love, like, about what you're saying. There are men, and there should be men, and men who are real men who will know exactly what they want. And that they will know, I want you. Yeah. And yes, it may take them a long time to realize it. But that's why you got to learn to be okay.
This is it.
Because the thing you don't want to do is compromise these necessary values, right? We're not just talking about compromising on small things. We're talking about your actual well-being, your happiness, your security. Yep. You're sacrificing that in hope of not even a possibility. The possibility is so slim, and he's let you know that. The possibility of commitment is slim, and he's let you know it repeatedly over 5 years. In this case, what are we holding for? What are we waiting for? Nothing is miraculously going to change, where there are men out there who will see you, see your efforts, see your lifestyle, see your wisdom, your mind, everything that you have, and think, I actually want to give it a go in committing to you and spending the rest of my life with you. Are those men everywhere? Are there a lot of them? Probably not. But like I always say, it only takes one. And we're waiting on that one.
We will wait for that.
Unless you're into like polygamy and stuff.
That's up to you.
But that's up to you. But 100%.
Focus on yourself, because this is madness. And we like peaceful lives. We like peaceful men. You can definitely do better. And I think, especially the fact that this has been 5 years of a situationship, I think you genuinely do need some time to just focus on yourself and figure out what you want and what you will stand for and stuff like that. I don't want you to just feel like you have to almost give in because you've invested 5 years of your time into this guy who wasn't willing to invest it back in you. So even
though now he's saying that he wants to,
actions always speak louder than he's had 5 years.
He's had 5
That's
years
a long
to prove
time.
himself.
5 years. He's had 5 years.
He's shown you who he is, babe.
And if he wanted to, he would have.
Yeah. But the thing is, maybe I feel like sometimes we're quite cutthroat people. Yeah. But okay, let me give a more tender kind of something. If you feel like you and this man could work, I don't know him. He could be going through a rough patch. I don't know.
For 5 years?
People have their seasons.
For 5 years.
Sometimes they're not seasons. But if you feel like you and him could work, because I understand love. Love really makes you feel like, no, this could be him, right? Sis isn't dumb. 5 years, there has to have been a reason. Those moments of joy, I'm trying to be compassionate. Why are you looking at me like that? Those moments of joy, whatever happiness they had over those 5 years. This man has a lot of proving to do. If he wants you in the way that you deserve to be wanted right now, okay, he needs to prove himself. Stop sacrificing. It's his turn to sacrifice now. If you're moving with your parents and he wants to prove to you that he really likes you, then he needs to put in effort to show you that whilst you're going on with your life, he actually still wants to journey with you to where it is that you are going. He needs to start making sacrifices now. If you want to give him a chance, put him on the ropes and let him show you that he's willing to sacrifice, and make sure he follows through with those sacrifices. But sis, you are done sacrificing. You are done being planned B, C, D. You're done with that. You're done with that. He has got to prove to you he wants to be in your life. So it's time for him to start doing the work on your business and your work and helping you grow your life sacrificially to prove to you that actually he's serious, and undo the errors of the last 5 years. That's all I'd say. If you really do hope that it could turn into something, you've done the work now. It's his turn. It's his turn.
That's kind.
Right. I said I'm trying to not be so cutthroat and understand where people are coming from.
Yeah, no, I hear it. Love is love, Sha.
Do you get what I mean?
Bondage is bondage too. So
we're going to ease off of that and actually head into one, which is, we're going to take our foot off the gas pedal of relationships for a bit and put it onto education for a minute. And this one is actually specifically directed to you. Aww. So, hello, sisters. Hey. I suspect I am much younger than most of the sisters in this space, but I'm happy to be here nonetheless.
Welcome, hey, little sis. We love to have you.
We love it. I'm so happy I stumbled across your channel and have been here for the ride ever since. My dilemma is especially for Renee. Aww. In the last episode of the podcast, you spoke about your academic journey, and I found it so inspiring since I'm only in my first year of sixth form at 16 years old studying law. I foresee myself going on to Harvard for my master's, just like you, but I fear that since I didn't perform so well for the first year, I may not get in. First year has been really difficult for many reasons because of COVID. I wasn't able to travel down to school and so had to do the entire year online. And in the midst of that, I actually caught the virus in time for my first exam and also lost my grandfather during that period. I know that people say the first year doesn't really count, but I just want to know how well your first year impacted your chances at Harvard. So I'm assuming this is in the first year of sixth form / college if she's 16 years old, turning 17, but over to you.
Okay. For the masters, if we're talking about sixth form, nobody care about your to be very frank, I would be more like, even as you were like talking, Courtney, I thought that this was a dilemma from a first year university student, but then I also realized, okay, you're quite young. So in terms of the actual first year of like sixth form, that really doesn't matter at all. You only declare the very end of your exams anyway.
Final grades.
Yeah, your final grades when it pertains to sixth form. When it comes to university, however, that one is a little bit more tricky insofar as you will have to declare like your first year grades depending on the university you go to. So I went to Oxford. We don't declare our first year university grades because it doesn't count towards our final mark. So it was slightly different. But speaking towards sixth form, girl, no. What I will say, however, is it may impact your university choice because from the dilemma, it sounds like you want to go to Harvard for your master's. You need to be thinking more so about your actual university that you want to get into first and kind of like focus on that area of your life first before thinking about, like, I think it's amazing that you have such foresight. And I wish I had that kind of foresight because Courtney already knows and you guys already know from like my journey, I was very slapdash about the timings. But yeah, I would definitely say try and focus on just getting into university first, getting your undergraduate degree first, and then thinking about how that's now going to impact your master's. In terms of where you're at right now, when you are applying to university, there are mitigating circumstances and there are, contextual information that you can provide to your university. So a lot of people tend to like worry all willy-nilly about the fact that, COVID, which is actually a pandemic, has actively impacted their university grades, or their, you know, sixth form grades, or GCSE grades, or high school grades, or whatever it is. As long as you can string together a very compelling narrative as to why you may not have done your best, as well as actively trying to do your best irrespective of the circumstances, you should actually be fine.
Definitely.
I think it's really, really inspiring that this is the kind of trajectory that you see for yourself. And I wish you genuinely all the best. And I hope that, you know, the content that we have created so far has actually been helpful insofar as like helping you with those decisions that you have to make. But yeah, I would definitely say, like, take a deep breath, you know, chill out. I know you've got a, you know, game plan and master plan for your life as it pertains to your academic trajectory, but I would very much encourage you to take it one step at a time, at least at this stage, and try and make sure that you've got everything that you need for the next step rather than for the next like 10 steps, because oftentimes you can focus so much on kind of like the far future that you forget that the present and the very near future is what will actively be the building blocks for that very, very far future. But yeah, and also I very, very, very much resonate with the fact that you've had to do school online. Both of my little sisters were in the exact same predicament. In fact, in the exact, like, to a T predicament, where they've had to do all of their exams online, where they've had to, you know, figure out how to do XYZ in the midst of a pandemic. So it's very unfortunate that your generation was indeed the COVID generation of schooling. But yeah, there are ways that you can kind of like get around that. So yeah. That's
love
my
that.
answer. I
love
don't know
that.
if Courtney, there's anything you want to like add to that at all?
Yeah, I think you're right. Everything is a stepping stone, and everything this year will impact obviously next year. You have to take everything a step at a time. So your first year of sixth form may impact your second year of sixth form. I know that with the way in the UK sixth form and colleges are kind of studying for A levels, the system is more so you don't even get AS level grades. So everything really is riding on your final year, which you can, you know, really choose to go hard at. But like you said, there's mitigating circumstances, there's contextual information that you can give that will hopefully make, I mean, the whole world is going through the same thing. So people will definitely be more understanding of circumstances like this. As long as you communicate that and you're clear about that, and you don't fight this alone, you're just very honest with teachers or whatever officials that this is what you're going through, things typically work out together. But this year affects next year affects your undergraduate degree, and then your undergraduate degree will affect your Harvard application. So take everything, like Renee said, a step at a time. But I am super, super proud. Like, I just feel like it's crazy that at 16 you're thinking of this, and we are so proud of you. We know that you are going to go far no matter what actually happens, and yeah, we are supporting you whatever way we can. Please feel free to message us, email us, and we can help you through the journey. But well done, and keep being ambitious, sis.
Honestly,
keep driving and aspiring for more, and keep up the amazing work. That's all I'll say.
That was such a wholesome little dilemma, man. Very
lovely. Just something light,
something breezy,
something
easy, breezy, beautiful.
We look cover girl.
Anywho, moving on to another dilemma, which is also of the wholesome persuasion.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, firstly, I love you guys, and I love this podcast. Honestly. Man, guys, like, it always makes me so happy to see these things. It's just like, oh, you guys really love our chitter chatter. That was so romantic. I love it. I'm a young woman still at university trying to navigate this adulting thing. By the way, it's the ghetto. We understand.
Girl.
Oh, you know, it's actively tried to kill us
Honest
a couple of times.
God.
But I ask how to find friends with the same values as me. For example, I have this friend and I love them to pieces, but they don't really believe in the same religious values as I do. They would rather much go out than stay in. They don't put in the same efforts into university work as I do. And I always see myself becoming the person that has to motivate them or help them with university work. I have no problems with friends who are different to me, but I'd also like to cultivate relationships with people who are a bit more similar in values to me. What's your advice?
Really tricky one. everyone's very different and you can't force people to be what they are not. But I also understand having certain needs for the support system that is around you. I think I would have two things to this. Firstly, have you tried to have conversations with your friends that is not trying to force them to be something they're not, but actually trying to understand where they stand on the things that are important to you? As a person of faith, you may want to have a conversation about something that would easily be relatable for other people of faith, but for people who aren't, faith-filled or whatever, they don't really relate to that. Don't have that conversation. Instead, have a conversation about your friend's actual religious views or lack thereof, and get understanding about them rather than trying to make them something that they are not or push them into a particular corner because they will constantly fall short. Instead, ask them their thoughts, their philosophical thoughts, their values, their morals, what has fueled what they believe, right? And it may not be the answers that you want, but it will help you to actually understand the people that are in front of you rather than trying to make them into the perfect friends. You have friends who are people. They have a history. They have their own experience of life. And the journey of friendship is about getting to know that aspect of them, what they really are, not what you want them to be. So have conversations that allow them to share more of themselves. And I think that will then open the door for you to know more about them, love them more, but then also have more conversations about the things that you believe and be able to challenge their ways of thinking, and also have them challenge your way of thinking. But then the second aspect is you may want to then get into an environment where you'll find people who are similar to you. So if you're, for example, a person of faith, going to a place of worship will help you find people who are similar to you. Or if you want to find people who are really studious, then go to a particular academic club or something like that and join that forum so that you can find people who clearly, obviously have the same values as you and same interest as you, because you've met in that context. That will expose you to those sorts of people. But the friends that you currently have, I think, learn more about them. Do encourage them. It may be your place. A lot of us are always looking for supportive friends, but you may be in a dynamic where it may be your place right now in their lives to support them and challenge them and be there for them. And yes, that can feel really laborious if you don't have people supporting you, which may be exactly why you need to go and find other friends. But I wouldn't say just drop your friends because they don't think like you and they don't act like you. If it's not affecting the way that you behave, but you can maybe be a positive force in their life, not an overpowering force, but a positive force and a supportive person, then still be there, still offer them what they need. You never know what transformation your friendship could bring to their life, and vice versa. That's what I'd say.
I love that so much, Courtney. Like, you literally said a lot of the points that I was thinking, insofar as putting yourself in a position to actually find new friends, if that's what you desire, that are actively like you. A lot of us kind of feel like it's rocket science to find new people to make friends with, but sometimes it's actually an environmental thing where you actually need to go to places of interest.
This is it.
And mingle and talk
find
to
them.
people and chat. And I also love the point that you said about, investing in your current relationships and trying to diagnose if there is a problem there, because I think oftentimes the temptation is to look outside as soon as there's a problem or a misalignment, without actually trying to see, okay, cool, where can we actually, see if there's any synergy still and work around it so that you can have a functional friendship that doesn't necessarily mean you have to find a carbon copy of yourself. And then finally, touching on just the power dynamic as well, because it seems that this is not just about a value thing, but also about a dynamic thing where sis actually just wants friends to support her. And there's that underlying, I feel like I'm the positive influence in her life, and I really want that for me. And I think being very, when it comes to communication, being very direct with it and saying, this is what I would like in a relationship or a friendship, or if you are feeling as though you're not being supported, as Courtney said, it may be that this is the season that you're in your friendship, as opposed to it being a long-term thing. I mean, we don't know anything about you guys' long-term relationship with this particular friend of yours, but it might be the case that if it's a particular time in her life where she's going through a lot and she does need that support, then it may look like you giving 70 versus, you giving 50. and vice versa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's not a bad thing to want supportive friends. In fact, it's a very good and healthy thing. And just making sure that you're clear about that, and also investing in the relationships that you actually actively have already is super, super important. And then also actually identifying what your values are, because I think that some of them are values, but some of them are also just characteristics. So I think in terms of religious values, okay, I hear that, but in terms of they would much rather go out and stay in, that's more introversion versus extroversion. Motivate them and, helping them with university work. I'm not too sure. I mean, that could be a value thing, but it also could be, again, a seasonal thing. It doesn't, because of her not necessarily putting in the work to do university work, that may not be a value call or value judgment insofar as her not valuing university education. It could be that she's actually dealing with something right now, or there's an underlying issue,
or she learns differently to you.
Precisely this. So I think, figuring out as well what exactly are your values, as well as what are the kind of characteristics you would like to see in a friend. And also giving grace to understand that sometimes your friend a friend that has the same values as you does not manifest them the same way that you do as well.
That's very
true. So giving some grace around that area is also super important. Like me and Courtney, we share very, very similar values, but the way that we manifest it or talk about it can look and sound and be very, very different. So I don't think that this is a particularly overcomplicated dilemma. I think it's one that just requires a little bit of grace, a little bit of self-awareness, a little bit of, okay, let's see what we can do with this, before actively, I guess, dumping a friend or dumping friendships. But all relationships require work, and I think this one definitely sounds like something we could work with for a bit. If it turns into something that's a little bit more toxic, you know the vibes here, get out, the vibes, deuces. But we give it a good bash before we give it a
it's
good
true run. It's true
Bash?
we do. Can't say we didn't try. We're triers.
Can't say we didn't try.
There you go.
Wow,
just like that.
That felt like it went absolutely quickly.
Just like that. 4 dilemmas.
Wow. We went through 4 different girls. Courtney, it literally felt like we had just sat down.
Because it's a good chin wag. I'm telling you. Us and the sisters just gisting. It goes by real quick, but
wow.
This is only the beginning of many more.
Honestly, guys, let us know. Did you enjoy this episode? Would you prefer us to go through more dilemmas? This is very much a conversation between us and you guys. And also, if you have a dilemma, please send us an email at hello@tomysisters.com. You can also send us a dilemma through our website at www.tomysisters.com. We're also available on our Instagram. Oh, this feels like a whole...
It's a commercial.
It's a commercial. We got our commercial voices on. You guys know the drill. You can send us a DM on Instagram at @ToMySisterhood, as well as on Twitter at @ToMySisterhood. And it's not even just a thing where, we want to receive your dilemmas. This is a community, guys. We want to hear, what are your 2 pence on some of these dilemmas? We've been seeing some of the comments on YouTube and we've been loving them. And the sisters can always do it with a sister who has either experienced it before or who has, some kind of insight. We want to make sure that we're really doing our duty of care insofar as fostering those key relationships. And you guys feeling that, you're not just getting our perspective, but also the wholesome sisters that form the TMS community. So 100. By all means, please drop a comment, tag us on Instagram. We see you. Tag us on Twitter and let us know, what did you have to think about some of these dilemmas? And of course, if you want to see us, if you want to talk to us directly, want to see where we're at, what we're doing on our pages. If you want to follow us,
what we get up to in our daily lives,
all of the shenanigans,
because we be shenanigan.
If you want to follow us directly, you can always come and say hello to us on our personal pages at CD Wateng and at Renee Kapuku.
Yes, and of course you can rustle up a conversation over on Twitter. Go and disturb the timeline.
Russell.
The vocabulary
the
is
English
coming
is
through.
English.
That
Some
degree on my wall.
English, but you're tussling.
I'm screaming. That degree on my wall is not going to waste.
Absolutely.
Yes, but if you want to rustle up a conversation over on the timeline on Twitter, then hashtag to my sisters. And of course, what are you doing, sis? What are you doing? Why are you not on the mailing list? We be dropping serious glow and grow tips on the mailing list weekly. So join the exclusive mailing list by going to our website and just popping in your email address and signing up. Please do yourself a favor. Join the gang. But after this week of getting into each other's business, we just want to say we love you guys.
We do.
You're going to be great. You're going to flourish.
You are.
We are here to support you and to love you and to see you on a true journey of growing and glowing. So this is your weekly reminder. Sis, keep glowing and growing.